St. Clair Shores City Council, March 4th, 2024. To order. Abby, please call the roll.
Mayor Walby,
Here.
Councilmember Burgess,
Here.
Councilmember Frederick,
Present.
Councilmember Rubello,
Present.
Councilmember Vitale,
Here.
and Councilmember Karen and Rusi have asked to be excused.
Move to excuse. Support. Moved by Mr. Frederick, supported by Mr. Rubello to excuse Mayor Pro Tem Rusi and Councilman Kieran. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed. Please rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I am under the weather today, this evening. Mayor Pro Tem Rusi was scheduled to be off this Monday, and Councilman Karen got stuck on vacation, got stuck out west in that snowstorm. So I felt compelled to come and do the meeting, so I hopefully can make it through the entire meeting, and that's why everyone's as far away they can be from me. That's a good idea. But before, we had another sad event, passing of firefighter, and I'd like the chief to come up. Scott Schwabe, firefighter. Chief, if you could talk a little bit about firefighter Schwabe.
I'd be honored to. Thank you, your mayor and council, for this opportunity. So, Scott Anthony Schwabe joined the St. Clair Shores Fire Department as a firefighter paramedic in August of 2005. He came to us with several years of experience working for the Fraser Fire Department. He was promoted to driver engineer in October of 2013 and honorably served the city for 18 years prior to his medical retirement in September of 23. Unfortunately, Scott was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in October of 2021. Scott fought extremely hard to get back to duty and serve this amazing city alongside of his teammates. Scott successfully returned to the job following spring, all while maintaining an incredibly positive attitude, and his cancer was in remission. Driver engineer Schwabe had an active sense of humor and was a welcome addition around the firehouse. He made every minute count during his years of service, both on duty and off. In addition to the brothers and sisters of his fire department family, he spent quality time with his wife Shannon and his 14 nieces and nephews that made his life whole and filled it with love. He helped run his own farm and loved the outdoors. His cancer unfortunately returned, and he was medically retired last year in September. He continued to bravely fight and squeeze life out of every single day with friends and family. Scott passed away last week on February 26th at the age of 47. The entire St. Clair Shores Fire Department is saddened by his passing, and we're honored to have shared time with him in the fire service.
So I would request a moment of silence for firefighter Scott Schwabe. Thank you. Keep his family in your prayers. Keep the fire department. This has happened now twice in the last couple years here, and the fire department, along as the police department, have been great organizations in this city, and it's an occupational hazard that they indeed willingly take on a daily basis, whether it's the fire department or the police department. And as long as I've been in this community, which is 60 years, these have been great departments here. So keep them daily on your prayers. They do a great service for us. We don't have any proclamations or presentations. Item 3 is audience participations. Do we have any? Abby?
No, we do not.
Thank you. Item 4 is request from Hope Bags of Michigan to be recognized as a nonprofit organization to obtain a charitable gaming license. Yes, sir. That's you? Come on up, sir. Yes, come to the podium and tell us about pull that mic down and tell us about your organization.
Bring your prop.
Yeah, bring your prop right there in the seat. Tell us about the organization and what you're going to do.
I'll let you guys look at this.
Okay, I don't want to touch it, so.
Okay.
Just hold it up maybe so people see it on TV.
Okay, I'll leave it right there.
I'll bring it over there.
Okay, the name of my charity is Hope Bags of Michigan, and what we do is we.
Sir, what's your name?
My name is Jeff Fisher,
Thank you.
And I've lived in St. Clair Shores all my life.
Great.
Okay, and I started a charity to help the needy, poor, the veterans and children in need, originally just around, local. Now I decided to do it statewide. You can look at the bag. We supply stuff like shaving cream, toothbrushes, and snacks.
Okay, so, and in order to get this Jamie Gearbox, you're located here in the city of St. Clair Shores, as you already said, you live here in the shore, so you.
That is
You need
correct.
the governing body to recognize
Yeah.
this as a nonprofit organization.
That is correct.
We're very familiar with this. Questions regarding this? Mr. Rubello?
Mr. Fisher, how are you? I talked with you briefly before. You're not pulling a salary off
Well,
of this, it's just straight up stuff.
Absolutely not. I'll never take a salary. I'm here to
Great.
help the needy and poor. Yep.
And I talked to our city clerk already, so your background, you've been vetted, so I'm good with this. A little, something I just talked with you before, I just wanted to make sure the paperwork was fine on, one of the items here. It seemed to be a little bit different than what we had. Where did I wrote it down somewhere here. Anyways, you had three.
Yeah.
You had
3 board
three.
members. Yeah, I lost one, and I just got a new one last week, so I'll update that.
Okay, so that needs to be updated with the city clerk.
Okay.
With that, I will make a motion that the request from Hope Bags of Michigan, and you're at 22804 Fulton Street, St. Clair Shores 48082, County of Macomb, asking that they be recognized as a nonprofit organization operated in the community for the purpose of obtaining charitable gaming licenses to be considered for approval. That
That
was,
is correct.
that one question was from Councilwoman Rusi, who's gone, who noticed that, so she sent me a message.
Yeah, that'll be updated.
That was moved by Mr. Rubello for support,
I support.
supported by Ms. Burgess. Mr. Frederick?
No, I was just going to say, Jeff, if you get a chance, check with the folks at McWarm.
Okay.
They're Monday, Wednesday, Friday at St. Margaret's.
Okay.
And this would be an added addition to the stuff that they do for
Okay.
hundreds of people.
What we're also going to do is something different. When we start getting an income in, we're going to start ordering directly from the manufacturer. And I don't think, probably no charities do that. So we'll go directly with Alibaba. And instead of, most charities go to like Amazon and Walmart, we'll be able to buy, for that price, we'll get like, 3 shirts, 4 shirts. We're going to buy shirts, socks. Yeah, you see there's like socks in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to order in bulk where he started and saves a lot of money.
It's great what you're doing. Really
Fantastic.
appreciate it. Much needed.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, 5-0. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Fisher. Good luck. Keep up. the
Thank
good
you,
work.
I will.
Thank you.
All right. You did fine. Number 5 is 2024 Recreation Passport Grant Application. 5A is a public hearing for the 2024 Recreation Passport Grant. That's why I open the floor here to anyone that would like to speak regarding the Recreation Passport Grant. So I will do that. I will open the floor, public hearing. Anyone would like to discuss the passport grant application, Recreation Passport Grant? Anyone? No one? Seeing no one, I'll close the public hearing. Go to 5B, request to adopt the resolution for the 2024 Recreation Passport Grant. Liz Cotto.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We're going to be applying for the same thing as we did last year. We're going to be applying for a universal design at the Civic Arena bathrooms, basically renovating them so that they're more than ADA compliant, so that we are hitting more than just people with what you would be considered typical disabilities. It would be also helping out people who may have sensory issues or other factors. And the universal design goes above and beyond what ADA compliance is. The reason why we didn't get the grant last year was we didn't have enough points because we didn't have it evaluated by somebody from the disabled community. And we also didn't have enough universal design elements, and we have fixed both of those, so we are hopeful that we will be getting it this year.
Questions?
Move to approve.
Moved by Mr.
Support.
Frederick, supported by Mr. Rubello. Question, Mr. Rubello?
Yeah, my question was this, Liz, in your opinion, Rob, Director of the Parks and Rec, this would be the best use of this grant money, in your opinion? Because
I-
I know that,
yeah.
I know those bathrooms are beaten up.
Oh, they're in bad shape. Yes, I do feel it's we feel that it is the best use of this money. There is minimal match required for it, as well as the state likes to see us apply for the same thing over and over because it shows it's something we really need. So because we didn't get it last year, we're going for it again this year.
And I'd like to add, the minimum match is important. We have a lot of other projects here in Parks and Rec that we need to do. So this is one we want to go for these grants, but we need the minimum match because we got to allocate resources elsewhere. So I think that's extremely important.
And these were available through the DNR? Is that
That's
who that is?
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Anyone else? It's moved by Mr. Frederick, supported by Mr. Rubello, to approve the resolution authorizing for the Recreation Passport Grant Program to renovate the bathrooms at Civic Arena using universal design techniques. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6 is request for site plan approval for the exterior renovations at 22701 Harper Avenue for a physical therapy office, Stuckey Vitale. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Good
Well,
evening,
this
Mayor
is-
and Council.
This is very welcome news.
Yes.
We've sat here and watched this tired building for quite a few years now, so this is really exciting.
We're very excited about it, too. I'm James McNeilis with Stuckey and Vitale Architects.
Fantastic.
We are proposing a facade renovation and reoccupancy of a vacant building at 22701 Harper Avenue, and I'm here to answer any questions.
So tell us a little bit more what you're going to do here.
So the proposed building facade would be an update to the existing, what used to be the Payless Shoe Store on
Yeah.
Harper Avenue.
Yep.
Part of the design challenge with this building, you can see on Harper, it's got a slanted roof.
Yes.
So the proposed facade update would be to create a more balanced facade while still giving it a modern look that presents well for the Back to You group and their patients. We're also proposing to improve the existing parking lot, resurfacing, restriping, repairing, new dumpster enclosure to replace the one that is currently in disrepair.
Great. Questions? Ms. Burgess?
I just actually have a comment. One of our buildings is right next door, and when my husband found out about this, he was so excited to get a nice facelift to this, and I'm just really excited that we won't have to see that ugly dumpster area. So very kudos to you for a beautiful design.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Vitale?
Echo similar comments, another winner for Harper Avenue, and we're working our way through, so.
Mr. Rubello?
Are you moving that, you have a location, I think, in Grosse Pointe, right on Mack Avenue?
With,
he's-
Back to You? Oh, this would be an additional
Yeah,
location.
okay, this is, you're not moving that location to this one.
I don't believe so.
I agree with both of them. What a great addition to the south here in St. Clair Shores. There was a nasty old building that's been there for a long time. I will make a motion to approve the request for the site plan approval for a medical office at 22701 Harper Avenue, represented by Stuckey and Vitale Architects. Anything is better than what we're looking at.
I support.
Moved by Mr. Rubello, supported by Ms. Burgess. Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. So
Thank you.
hopefully we'll see it this year.
I hope so.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, James. Way to go.
Item 7, request to approve the ordinance amendment for Article 5, fence ordinance height variance. Denise Pike? Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. What is before you is a request to revise the fence ordinance to make the fence, it doesn't actually change the definition of how we measure height, but it does, the three things it does do is it increases the height of the poles for fences. So the structural member of the fence for privacy fences would go to 6 foot 6 inches. For chain link fences, that would go to 4 feet 6 inches. It allows for a gap either for maintenance or topography at the bottom of the fence, which currently is not in our fence ordinance, of maximum 3 inches, and it reorganizes the materials, the allowable materials for privacy fences, so it is with the materials section of the ordinance and not separate from.
Was there problems? Is that why it's in front of us?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, there were problems. We've had a number of these cases at fence arbitration where individuals had actually put a maintenance gap at the bottom of the fence, and therefore the height, the post, actually measured taller than the ordinance would allow. So the proposed resolution to that is to allow for posts to be slightly higher, so slightly taller, shouldn't say higher, but still the panels for a privacy fence, for example, would be only 6 feet. For a chain link, it would be 4 feet.
Mr.
I
Mike?
do have a diagram.
Oh, great, thank you. Mr. Vitale?
Yeah, I know when I had asked, when you put this to us, if you could have some visuals to show an example of what we're talking about here, and I guess that's it.
I apologize, I did not take any in the community visuals examples.
It didn't have to be from here. Prefer they wouldn't be, but.
This would show a privacy fence. It would show where we would measure the post for the allowable 6 foot 6 inches. The privacy panel would remain the same, 6 feet, which is a standard size sold in Home Depot or Lowe's. And the gap would be, again, a maximum of 3 inches.
Other questions? Mr. Rebello?
Yeah, and the gap on the bottom is going to allow for maintenance and people to be getting under there with,
We and
be able to
whips.
clean it up.
Yeah, and it's most pertinent for vinyl fences. So manufacturer recommendations don't have you weed whipping along a vinyl fence because of the potential damage.
Okay.
So this would allow for maintenance under the fence.
Because I'm on a fence arbitration with you, and I know this has come up a lot. I think it's coming up for another one at our next meeting. So this makes perfect sense. We had to cut a little bit out of people having to come to these arbitration boards. So it's happened enough times where we realize that this is an issue. So with that, the post can be 6 foot 6 inches? Is that what the post?
Yes, the post can be
Okay.
a maximum of 6 foot 6 inches.
Okay,
On
with
a
the-
chain link, it would be 4 foot 6.
With that, I will move to approve language to amend Chapter 8, Article 5, Fences, Sections 8-249, subsections 2 and 11, and 8-252, subsections B and E, and add language to create subsection 13 under Section 8-249. And I know we've had a lot of conversations with this.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Rebello, supported by Mr. Frederick. Other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. Denise,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Item 8, bids, contracts, purchase orders. Request to approve custodial service contract for city facilities with Do All Cleaning. Mr. Lent?
The city approved a 3-year custodial contract with CleanNet of Greater Michigan in December of 2022. The contract was awarded from February 1st, 2023 through January 31st, 2026. Initially, CleanNet was tasked with servicing several city facilities, including City Hall, Police Station, Library, DPW, Mechanics Garage, the Civic Arena, the Senior Center, and the court. However, issues arose shortly after implementation. Within weeks, CleanNet notified the city administration that they were unable to provide services for the Civic Arena. They cited problems with their contract franchise and overwhelming size and maintenance needs of the facility. Left in lurch, the Parks and Recreation Department decided to bring this service in-house, utilizing current staff who have since done a remarkable job cleaning the arena. In January of 2024, the contract services for the senior center was terminated due to continued unsatisfactory service from CleanNet. Once again, problems with the franchise were cited. The service has also been brought in-house, with a crew that is assigned to the arena now maintaining the senior center as well. Despite these continued efforts, we continue to have problems with CleanNet's performance throughout the remaining public facilities. Going back to the bid from 2 years ago, when we awarded it to CleanNet, Dual was our second lowest bidder. However, because we have taken in-house the Civic Arena and the senior center, by removing those two from the bid, actually Dual became the lowest bidder. So we are recommending, because of the issues that we're having with CleanNet, going to Dual, who actually is now the lowest bidder, and awarding the contract to Dual for years 1 and 2, the remaining contracts of $161,974 for year 1 and $165,812.43 for year 2.
So have you talked to Dual?
We have contacted Dual, and Dual is able to mobilize and get started immediately.
And you feel confident that they'll be able to do the work?
We do. Dual was actually the contractor that was under bid before we went out to bid, and they lost the bid to CleanNet, and then CleanNet has not been able to satisfy the bid as presented.
Questions regarding this? Mr. Frederick?
Yeah. I'd like to move to approve the custodial services contract for City Hall, Police Station, Library, DPW, Mechanics Garage, and Court to do all cleaning in the amount of $161,974.52 for year 1 and $165,812.43 for year 2 of the contract.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Frederick, supported by Mr. Vitale. Other questions regarding the comments made by Mr. Lenton going with Dual?
I just have one
Yes.
comment.
Hold on, Mr. Rubello.
Parks and Rec Director Spinizzola, I know you agree with this completely. I mean, you're dealing with these guys a lot.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, we had to take the custodial services in-house because.
You can't sit there and talk. You have to come to the podium. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. When CleanNet started with us, they couldn't fulfill the services, so we've brought it in-house to take care of it now.
Right, because it's rather a large contract.
Yeah, and our in-house staff has done a wonderful job taking care of it. Senior Center staff has said it's the cleanest they've ever seen it, so.
Right, but Dual's not coming here.
No.
They take care of it.
We're going to keep it in-house.
Keep it in-house along with the senior center. So, I mean, I know Mr. Spinazzola's here, but Dual is not going to be at the Parks and Rec or the senior center.
Nada.
You know. Ms. Burgess, did you have a comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. Passes to move to Dual. Item 8B is request to approve extension for grass cutting, landscaping, bed maintenance. Mr. Lint?
Yeah. The existing contracts are set to expire on July 1st, 2024, and have no provisions for extension. Landscape Services is proposing to keep the current contract provision for these services with no increase in cost for a 3-year period ending in 2026. On February 16th, council did award an extension to Landscape Services for their landscape maintenance, their irrigation systems, and their lawn restoration for a period of 3 years until July of 2024. With pricing for these 3-year terms for each contract to remain the same rate as the last year of the contract. Council approved the landscape extension on May 1st, 2023, and it is the recommendation of administration to award a no-cost extension for these programs. I do want to state that going back in your package, you will see over the last 3 years, especially with COVID and the staffing changes that have been made, we have continually, originally there was, Landscape Services was doing just the cutting of some of our parks. They've now obtained majority of all of our parks, along with some right-of-way to help with the DPW shortage of staff that we've had. And then also, as council has elected over the years not to purchase additional mowers and equipment and additional staff time, we have contracted these services out. And that goes the same thing with our irrigation and our landscaping bed. And LSI has done great work for the community and holding their prices for 3 more years and this high inflation cost, very similar to how Galooey did. Administration is recommending this.
Like Louis, it's zeros again.
Zeros again.
Move to approve.
Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Frederick? Yeah, Mr.
I was
Frederick?
just going to say move to approve.
Support.
Supported by Ms. Burgess. Mr. Rebello?
Just a comment at this point. It's amazing that they're holding their prices through everything that's going on out there. And a strong, competitive, timely, dependable LSI, a lot of city knowledge, so great deal for the city.
Any other questions? Mr. Vitale?
You know, I'll just make a comment. I actually got a message from somebody here some February 11th, coworker of mine who lives on acreage up in God's country there. And he was down here in the Shores, and he says, you know, the Shores isn't really my style. The houses are too close to each other. But I have to say, it sure is clean. So that was a nice comment to hear. And I think some of that's due to the work from Landscape Services.
Yeah, we have a lot of pride in St. Clair Shores and making it look nice, and we got to keep it nice as we keep our property and our parks nice if we want St. Clair Shores to be nice and want our residents to keep it up. So they do a great job.
Amen.
Moved by Mr. Frederick, supported by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? 5-0. Thank you. Number 9 is consent agenda.
Move to approve. Support.
Moved by Mr. Frederick, supported by Mr. Rebello to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 10 is updates and follow-ups for prior meetings. Mr. Lent.
Mr. Rebello asks if council can get a DDA report update in the future. A presentation to council on the proposed streetscape improvement is planned for the first meeting in May. Mr. Karen asked for a follow-up on monthly expense reports for the beautification and other city boards. The committee reports will be sent out this week. Mr. Vitale mentioned at a corner of Tremblay has a problem with cars parking too close to the intersection. Extra enforcement has been requested. Mr. Vitale mentioned the building fire on Tremblay and Harper that looks unsafe pedestrians walking by. He asked for updates on repairs if they could be expedited.
One thing on that?
Yes, you can.
It does look like there's been some work there where they've taken down some of the front of the facade. Are you aware, have they been in touch with you, or?
They have pulled a demolition permit, and they have told us that their architectural plans are forthcoming.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Mr. Vitale mentioned the building fire at North Harper and 9 Mile. The building needs to be painted. The city attorney is reaching out to the owner's attorney to inform them that the sides need to be painted or court action will be initiated. Mr. Vitale mentioned there are 2 junk vehicles left at AutoZone that should be moved. CDI and PD contacted the vehicle owners, and they were removed on 2/21 of 2024.
Good, thank you on that.
Yep.
Appreciate that. Item 11, comments by individual council. Since it would have been Ms. Rusi, then John, so it goes to Ron.
Hey.
Mr. Frederick.
Well, seeing as how we're missing a few people and the mayor's under the weather, and I forgot my library notes, I'm just going to mention that it's always a good time to go to the library. There's a bunch of stuff happening there. You can check out the website. And just make sure you cover off a fish fry this Friday, one of the ones in the Shores. That's all I have, Mayor. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Frederick. Mr. Vitale.
I'm going to cut mine a little short, too. I know there's some residents who are kind of counting on me to talk about some power line issues and some things tonight. I've agreed to push that back until next council meeting, but I am going, I'm just going to quickly mention the St. Germain fundraising effort has been a success. They've actually exceeded their fundraising goal, and that they will be, they're still taking students. So if you were considering having your kids attend pre-K through 8th grade, they're actually at 148. I'm hoping the Archdiocese will see that, you know, how this community came out and supported. I would say it's a pretty good chance that they will be having classes again. So if you had any hesitancy because of some of the reporting that came out that said they were going to close. I'd say it's a pretty good chance that they will be operating for going forward, actually. Some of those are pledges and things like that. And you know what, if preschool counts, I may just enroll my son, actually. And I went to the fundraiser, so if anybody likes my haircut tonight, thinks it looks especially good, well, don't hold it against them. But they did what they could with what they had to work with. So anyways, you can contact them, stgermain.org or 586-771-0890 something. That's all I had tonight.
What a tremendous success, Mr. Vitale.
Yes, it absolutely packed. You couldn't even get near the place for the fish fry and everything like that. It was great to see.
Yeah, they just outstanding. Just again, it's just so successful, and the people rose up when.
You know what, Mr. Lent to the rescue on that phone number. The office number is 586-771-0890.
Say it one more time.
586-771-0890.
Fantastic. Can't be too many communities in Metro Detroit that have 3 Catholic schools in a community, and
It's one of the things I brag about.
yep, there just can't be, and they're all strong. So glad to see that. Ms. Burgess.
Just a couple things. One of the things very dear to my heart is the Crisis Club that I'm a part of. I'm actually on the board, and we're having our 30th annual sports night on April 8th. That is the watching the men's college basketball championship, and it's going to be held this year at the Assumption Cultural Center on Martyr Road in St. Clair Shores on Monday, April 8th. Tickets are $100 per person. There'll be giveaways, silent auctions, 50-50. We have dinner plus a late night sports buffet, open premium bar, and we are reserving tables. If you're interested, you can give me a call. It's 248-767-9961. And again, I just want to offer my condolences for the Swaby family and continued prayers.
Thank you. Mr. Rubello.
And I'll cut my comments real quick. I just wanted to bring up something. There's a lot of great things that happen in the community. You just saw one with St. Gertrude.
St. Germain's.
Or St. Germain's, rather. That's amazing. Lots of pillars in our city that make up a good, strong city. And I just want to say our business community is one of them. And we asked them for a lot of things over the years, donations for our fundraisers, gifts. It goes on and on and on. So keep those small businesses going. Shop our St. Clair Shores area. Again, one of the pillars of our community. And shop the Nautical Mile. Out there today, and it felt like almost summer. Yeah. So good place to hang out. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Rubello. Item 12, the city manager's report.
This weekend, Saturday, March 9th, from 12 to 9, is the St. Patty's in the park at Blossom Heath. It benefits the Hockey Association. There's live entertainment, food trucks, and a beer tent. Hope to see everybody there.
Right, and there will be a tent, so in case there is a little rain, which there appears to be a little rain in the forecast, you do have a tent in there. We got Irish bands. Henry's done an excellent job of getting some Irish bands, and so it'll be a great time. So don't let the weather discourage you if it turns out that way. Item 12, that was item 12. Item 13 is audience participation. Do we have anyone that would like to speak? Yes, sir, come on up. How are you? Good. Good. And then when you're done, can you just sign in over there?
Yeah, my name is Carl Holtz. I live in St. Clair Shores.
Yes, sir.
I was here on January the 22nd for the meeting in regard to a fire hydrant issue.
Yes, sir.
And that evening, I did speak with the chief and with the head of the water department. But I still have not received any information as to my individual concern about some of the hydrants near me. I know I haven't been able to attend the last few meetings, but I did see where, must have been February 5th meeting, you did answer that all of the records were on paper or something.
Right.
And Councilwoman Rusi was asking about trying to get that onto some kind of a computer system, which would be great.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, is there some place that I could go to look at those records or something?
If you
or-
could if you could give your number to Abby, I will have the city manager call you this week to give you that information, okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Sign in, and then if you give Abby your phone number, Mr. Lent will call you this week, right, Mr. Lent?
I will.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to speak? Yes, ma'am, come on up. Good evening.
Hello. I'm Janelle Reeve, and I am a resident of St. Clair Shores my entire life.
Great.
This is my very first meeting that I have ever been to, so I'm not sure if I'm conducting this the right way. But I would like to propose a 5K before the Memorial Day Parade, and
You'd like to propose a 5K before the Memorial Day Parade?
yes. So Liesl Travis Elsie proposed this parade in 2006. It was called Sailing Through the Shores.
Yes.
And it benefited student athletes in each school district of St. Clair Shores. And as a current college student, knowing the debt that I have incurred over the past 4 years, I would really like to benefit student athletes because they are so exceptional in what they do, and they deserve access to further education. I also believe that this 5K will benefit our city in terms of getting us together as a community. So I was wondering, while I'm here, I'm more than happy to come back and propose this in the right way because I'm not sure if this is exactly it, what I would need to bring to you and how I should go about that.
Okay, well, no, this is a fine forum to bring it. Actually, the parade liaison is Mr. Ribello over there, and so he's now heard it. And so if you would get with Mr. Ribello, and Mr. Ribello can talk to the parade committee, I mean, that's where really it'll start, working with that parade committee. But we're glad to hear about it. I don't know all about it, if we can get it in 2024 or what their feeling is, so I don't want to speak on behalf of the parade committee, but Mr. Ribello will, no, thank you, Mr. Ribello, we're good. So we'll, if you get with Mr. Bell after the meeting here, before we go into closed session, then he can work it with the parade committee.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Mayor's comments. I thank you for keeping it short. This is a fast meeting. It's not worth being sick to have a fast meeting. So even though this is great, I'd rather have long meetings and feel better. So, but I do appreciate everyone keeping comments short. I really do appreciate that.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Can I just mention that
Sure.
I just want to welcome Barb Zinner, who was our commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
who came to the meeting. I'm sure she may have had some comments, but maybe has backed it off a little bit because of what we were talking about. So Barb, thanks for coming. We always appreciate you being here and filling us in. Thank you.
We appreciate you being an Iron Man.
Item 15 is request to meet in closed session as permitted by state statute MCLA 15.268, Section 8H, to consider material exempt from discussion or disclosure by state and federal statute. So we'll need a roll call vote to go into
closed session.
That's moved by Mr. Frederick.
Support.
Supported by Mr. Ribello to go into closed session.
Councilmember Frederick?
Aye.
Councilmember Rubello?
Aye.
Councilmember Burgess?
Aye.
Councilmember Vitale?
Aye.
And Mayor Walby?
Aye. Good night.